It was a normal night. You were walking in the hallway, passing by Jungkook's room, when suddenly a strong hand grabbed your wrist and pulled you inside his room. Before you could even scream, your back hit the wall behind the door, and Jungkook's hand covered your mouth tightly. Your eyes widened in shock. His deep brown eyes stared right into yours. Your heart started beating like crazy inside your chest. You tried to say something, but all that came out was a soft, muffled sound. Jungkook smirked a little and slowly removed his hand from your mouth. You gasped for air and whispered angrily, "What are you doing, Jungkook? What if Jia sees us here?" He didn't say anything, he just pressed his index finger softly on your lips, making you freeze on the spot. "Shh," he whispered, his voice low and a little playful. You gulped hard. Your skin was burning where his finger touched your lips, and then you realized his other hand was resting on your waist. You wore a small red crop top and loose blue pants tonight, and your waist was slightly visible. His warm hand was brushing lightly against your skin. You whispered again, your voice shaking a little, "Shankar, what are you trying to do?" He leaned closer, a mischievous glint in his eyes. "I feel like playing with you, that's why," he said. Your heart skipped a bit. "Play?" You whispered loudly. "What kind of play?" Jungkook chuckled loudly, his voice making shivers run down your spine. "Something wild," he said, trailing his finger lightly over your waist, drawing small circles on your skin. You gasped softly, but inside you were smiling like a fool. Your stomach was full of butterflies, dancing and flipping like crazy. Then he leaned even closer, his hard breath brushed against your neck. You squeezed your eyes shut when his soft lips gently touched your skin, moving slowly and sensually. Your hands didn't know what to do. One hand clutched the side of your loose pants tightly, and the other hand reached out to grip the wall behind you. You could feel everything, his lips, his breath, his touch. It felt too good. Without thinking much, you turned your head, cubed his face softly with your hands, and pressed your lips against his. The kiss was sweet at first, slow and smooth. His hands moved to your lower back, pulling you closer. You were melting, completely melting into him, but just when things were getting even better, a whole jug of cold water poured over your face. You screamed and jumped out of bed, coughing and wiping your face widely. When you opened your eyes properly, you saw Gia standing there, arms crossed, looking furious. "How many times should I call you, huh?" she yelled. You blinked at her, confused for a second, your heart still racing, then realization hit you. It was a dream, you shouted, feeling so upset that you almost cried. Your romantic, wild moment with Jungkook, it was all just a stupid dream. He looked at Chia, still breathing heavily. "You?" you said, annoyed. "Yeah, me. Were you screaming like a crazy girl?" Chia said, narrowing her eyes at you. "Were you dreaming about someone?" You panicked and shook your head quickly. "No, no way. Why would I dream about someone?" You lied. But Gia raised her eyebrow. "Oh, really?" she said sarcastically. "When I came into your room, your lips were pouting like a pig's lips. Looked like you were kissing someone in your dream." You gulped hard. "No, you misunderstood." You stuttered. "Nothing like that." Gia rolled her eyes. "Okay, leave it. We have special classes today, remember? You said you will be ready on time," she scolded. "When I came to your room, you were sleeping like a lazy panda. I was dying downstairs calling you. That's why I asked your mom for a jug and threw it on you." You sighed heavily. "Fine, fine. I'll get ready in 5 minutes," you said, climbing out of your bed, still feeling half embarrassed, half sad. "You better be ready or else I'll seriously kill you," Chia said. She opened the drawer and started pulling out lipsticks, picking the best one. You watched her, half irritated. "Ah, this makeup crazy girl," you muttered under your breath. "She disturbed my dream with Jungkook." Still pouting, you grabbed your towel and stomped towards the bathroom. Inside, as you turned on the shower, you smiled to yourself. If only it was real, if only Jungkook really played something with you. You blushed hard, hiding your face in your hands. Later at school, you and Gia were standing near the lockers, your bags were on the floor, and you both were taking out your books while chatting. Gia leaned closer and asked with a teasing smile, Wine, do you have a habit of wetting your bed at night? You froze, your hands stopped moving inside your locker. You turned your head slowly and looked at her with wide eyes. What do you mean? You asked, almost shouting. Just shrugged casually. When you got off your bed today morning, I saw your pants were wet, she said, trying to hide her laughter. You blinked fast, your heart racing. Suddenly, you remembered your dream with Jungkook. In that dream, you really felt something, and maybe you quickly gasped and covered your mouth with both hands, cheeks turning red like a tomato. Gia stared at you, her mouth open. What? What happened? Were you acting weird? She asked, worried. You coughed awkwardly and shook your head. Nothing. I don't have any such habit. Maybe the water you poured on my face spilled on my pants too, you explained quickly. Just squinted her eyes. But why? I only poured water on your face, not on your pants, she said suspiciously. You waved your hands fast. It's okay, leave it. Stop thinking about it, you said, laughing nervously. Tell me, do you know Jungkook closely? Our school's Badboy Heartthrob. As soon as you said that, Gia's eyes widened. She gulped hard and looked at you weirdly. What? Why will I have a relationship with Jungkook? She said quickly. I hate him, we don't even talk. You crossed your arms and stared at her. Relationship? You asked, raising your eyebrow. I didn't even say anything about a relationship. I just asked if you know him closely. Gia's face turned pale. She thought, oh god, mine is getting doubt. What if she finds out that I'm actually Jungkook's sister? Before you could question her more, Gia laughed loudly and changed the topic. By the way, did you hear? Mia is throwing a party next weekend, she said, acting excited. You frowned. Something was off. You were at Gia's house in your dream. Then why did Jungkook suddenly appear there and pull you into his room? You bit your lip, deep in thought. Just then the hallway filled with giggles and clicking heels. Mia, the most popular girl in the school, walked toward you with her two besties. Mia crossed her arms, smirked at you. Well, if it isn't Miss Nobody, she said loudly. The hallway became quiet. Everyone was secretly watching. You rolled your eyes, not in the mood for her drama. And if it isn't Miss Plastic, you said back with a small smile. Gia gasped quietly beside you. Mia's smile disappeared. What did you say? She snapped. You tilted your head. Oh, sorry, you said with fake innocence. I thought you liked compliments. The crowd behind you started giggling. Mia's face turned red in anger. She took a step closer and pushed you by the shoulder. You stumbled backward, about to fall down hard on the floor. But strong arms caught you from behind. You smelled a familiar scent, cologne mixed with a little leather. You looked up slowly. It was Jungkook. Your eyes met his deep brown ones. Your body froze again. Just like last night's dream, he held your waist tightly, making sure you didn't fall. Everyone in the hallway gasped. Mia's face twisted in jealousy. Jungkook leaned closer to your ear and whispered, his voice low and teasing, "You're so clumsy, little one." Your cheeks burned. You quickly stood straight, but he didn't remove his hand from your waist. You could feel his thumb moving slightly, brushing your skin. You looked at him with big eyes. Thank you whispered. He smirked. Next time don't pick a fight if you can't handle, he said, squeezing your waist gently before finally letting go. You stood there frozen. Gia was also shocked along with you. Wine, are you okay? She asked, checking you. You nodded quickly, your heart still beating like a drum. Mia gritted her teeth. She pointed her finger at you and said loudly, "Just wait, you will regret this, loser." Then she stormed away with her friends. The hallway slowly started buzzing again with whispers. He looked down, embarrassed. Jungkook turned and started walking away down the hallway, his hands casually tucked into his pockets. But before he disappeared around the corner, he looked back at you for a second, smirking as if he knew everything. You gulped. Your knees felt weak. Gia pulled your arm. "Come on, let's go before something else happens," she said. As you walked to your class, you thought about everything: Jungkook pulling you into his room last night, your wild dream, him saving you just now, his hands on your waist, his smirk, his teasing voice, calling you little one. You touched your waist where he held you. It still tingled. You bit your lip and whispered to yourself, maybe, just maybe, my dream wasn't only a dream after all. Later in class, you and Gia sat together by the window. The sun was shining softly into the room, making everything look warm and sleepy. Gia leaned closer to you and whispered, "When you would always fight with Jungkook before. What happened today? Why didn't you shout back at him like you always do?" You blinked, caught off guard. You struggled to find words because honestly, you were lost in a dream when he held you. You scratched the back of your neck awkwardly and mumbled, "I just thought maybe I shouldn't fight with him today. I'm tired of him." Gia stared at you for a second, then grinned. "Oh, I thought you got lost in his handsome face just like the other girls," she teased, wiggling her eyebrows. You rolled your eyes and hit her arm lightly. "Stop talking rubbish, Gia," you said, pouting. Gia chuckled and shook her head. "I'm watching you," she said, pointing two fingers at her eyes and then at you. Before you could answer, the teacher walked into the class and everyone quickly sat properly. The teacher started explaining some boring history lesson. You tried to focus, tapping your pen on your notebook, but your mind kept drifting back to that dream. You remembered yourself in his room, his face so close, the way he touched your cheek, the way he whispered your name. Your cheeks slowly turned pink. You shook your head, trying to throw away the thought. "Focus one," you whispered to yourself, but suddenly you felt a strong gaze on you. It made your skin feel hot. You turned your head slightly to your right, and there he was, Jungkook, your school Badboy Heartthrob, staring at you. His chin was resting on his hand, and he was watching you so openly, like you were the only thing in the room. Your heart skipped a beat. You opened your mouth slightly in shock. That's when he winked at you, slowly and playful. Your whole body froze. Your brain stopped working. You quickly turned your face away, your hand covering your red cheeks. Did he just wink at me? Did he guess that I dreamed about him? You buried your face in your notebook, embarrassed. From the corner of your eye, you saw him chuckle softly and finally turned back to the teacher. You bit your lip hard. "This is bad, really bad. Maybe he really knows about my dream." Jungkook was known as the bad boy heartthrob of the whole school. Girls drooled over him every day, writing love letters, giggling when he passed by, dropping fake handkerchiefs in front of him. He never even looked at anyone seriously. He was cold, dangerous, and way too attractive. And you always had silly fights with him, arguing over seat numbers, teasing him for being late, calling him a wannabe gangster sometimes. But deep inside, something had already settled in your heart. Maybe that's why you had that crazy dream. Maybe, just maybe, you had feelings for Jungkook all along and you were just too stubborn to admit it. You sat quietly and rested your chin on your hand, pretending to listen to the teacher, your heart still beating too fast because of that wink. That night you were lying on your bed, staring at the ceiling. The clock on your wall ticked loudly. It was already past 11 p.m., but you still couldn't sleep. You turned from one side to another, hugging your pillow tight. Your mind kept going back to that morning, the dream you had about Jungkook. Your heart raced just remembering it, his face so close, his touch, his voice whispering your name. You covered your face with your hands and kicked the blanket. Ah, I can't believe I dreamed that. You whispered to yourself. You couldn't keep it inside anymore. You needed to tell someone. You needed to tell Gia. You sat upon your bed, grabbed your mobile phone, and quickly dialed her number. Pick up, pick up, pick up, you mumbled while tapping your foot nervously, but the call kept ringing, no answer. You bit your lip in frustration and dialed again, still no answer. Yeah, Gia, what are you doing? You shouted at your phone. You kept dialing third time, fourth time, fifth time. By the tenth call, finally someone picked up. Without even checking properly, you immediately burst out speaking. Yeah, Gia, why didn't you leave the call all this time, idiot? I wanted to tell you something important, you said angrily. You didn't even give in time for the person to speak as he continued. I wanted to tell you about me, Jungkook, and the dream I had this morning, but you were sleeping like a log. Finally, you heard a sleepy voice from the other side. Sorry, what dream you got? Gia's voice came, but it sounded a little odd, like someone trying hard to sound sleepy, but you were too excited and frustrated to notice it. You hugged your pillow and started explaining everything in one breath. Listen carefully, today morning when you poured water on my face, before that I was having a very weird, no, a very wild dream. And guess what? Jungkook was in it. There was silence on the other side. You continued anyway, your cheeks heating up as you spoke. I dreamed I was in Jungkook's room and he pulled me close and he whispered my name and you covered your face shyly even while saying it. And he kissed me, Jia. Can you believe it? Still no answer from the other side. You frowned and asked, Yeah, why are you not talking, Jia? Are you sleeping again? Then you heard a low, slightly strange voice. I'm feeling sleepy, good night. And before you could say anything more, the call cut off. Yeah, Jia, you shouted at your phone, but it was too late. You threw your phone on the bed and fell back, covering your face with your hands. I can't believe I said everything out loud. You mumbled. You rolled around in your bed, feeling embarrassed but also strangely happy. Meanwhile, on the other side, inside Jia's room, earlier when your call started ringing, Jungkook was passing by Jia's room. He paused outside, hearing the non-stop ringing sound. He pushed the door open and saw Jia sleeping on her bed with big headphones on, completely lost in her own world. Her main mobile, her regular one, was lying on the table, vibrating with your calls. Curious, Jungkook stepped inside and picked up the phone. He glanced at the screen and smirked. One, he read your name out loud, chuckling softly. He was about to put the phone down, thinking it was none of his business, but the phone rang again. This time, something inside him made him attend the call. He was about to speak normally, but then he heard you mentioning a dream about him. His eyes widened slightly, and a devilish smirk appeared on his lips. He quickly stayed silent, listening carefully. When you asked about Dream, he disguised his voice, making it sound like Chia's sleepy tone. And then he listened to you, every single word. His smile only grew bigger and bigger as you explained your dreams shyly, cutely, and nervously. When you said he kissed me, Jungkook chuckled loudly, shaking his head. He could imagine your red face, your cute expressions while talking. He leaned against the table casually, one hand in his pocket, listening to your whole story like it was his favorite music. When you finally asked, Why are you not talking, Jia? He decided to end the call. Before he burst out laughing in a fake sleepy voice, he said, I'm feeling sleepy, good night. And he cut the call quickly. He tossed Jia's phone back on the table and walked out of the room, smirking widely. Wine, baby, he whispered under his breath. Let me make your dream come true soon. His eyes sparkled mischievously as he disappeared down the hallway. The next morning, you went to school feeling weird. Your heart still felt a little heavy because of last night. You remembered how you told Jia everything about your dream, or at least you thought it was Jia. Maybe she was too sleepy to even remember. You whispered to yourself, adjusting your bag as you entered the school gate. You shook your head quickly. Forget it, Wang. Just act normal. You walked through the hallway where students were crowding, chatting, and laughing loudly. As you opened your locker, you felt something strange. You felt someone was staring at you. You turned your head quickly, and there he was, John Jungkook. Leaning casually against the opposite locker, arms crossed, wearing a black jacket. Hair messy but somehow perfect, he had a small smirk on his lips, watching you like he knew someone. You immediately turned back to your locker, pretending not to see him. Why is he looking like that? You thought, heart racing. When you took out your books, you found a sticky note stuck between them. You frowned and pulled it out. There was just three words written on it: Sweet dreams, baby. Your eyes widened. What? You whispered. You looked around, but Jungkook was no longer standing there, and clutched the sticky note tightly and shook your head. Am I dreaming again? During the classes, Jungkook didn't stop teasing you. Every time you looked up, you caught him smirking at you. When you answered a question in class, he clapped softly under the table. When you bent down to pick your pen, you heard him whisper lowly from behind, Careful, princess, don't fall again. You straightened up quickly, face burning. You didn't understand why he was behaving so strangely. What's wrong with him today? You thought in panic. Gia was absent today, so you couldn't even share your confusion with her. After school ended, you quickly rushed to the washroom to wash your face and calm yourself down. Maybe I'm just overthinking, you mumbled to yourself while drying your hands. You adjusted your bag and opened the door to leave. As you stepped out into the quiet corridor, suddenly a strong hand grabbed your wrist. Ah, you gasped. You turned around and saw Jungkook. Before you could even react, he pulled you quickly down the corridor and turned into a small empty room. The door closed behind you with a soft thud. Your heart was beating crazily. Jungkook, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You shouted, trying to pull your hand back, but he didn't let go. Instead, he pinned you lightly against the wall, caging you between his arms. His face was so close to yours, just like in your dream. You froze completely. Jungkook stared at you, his eyes dark, intense, a little playful. He smirked as you looked into his eyes, just like in your dream. Then he held your wrist and squeezed it gently as you gasped a little. Then he slowly trailed his fingers on your waist by keeping his hand under your shirt. As he pulled the hem of your shirt out from your skirt, then he said something shocking. Am I doing something similar to your dream? Huh? He whispered, your eyes widened in shock. What? How do you know? You stuttered. Then he blew hard breath to your neck and shiver ran down your spine with his gesture. You swallowed hard, your cheeks were burning. You finally gathered your courage and asked in a trembling voice, How do you know about my dream, Jungkook? He chuckled softly, resting his forehead against yours for a second before pulling back slightly. You told me yourself, baby, he said where you blinked. Huh? He smirked again and explained slowly. Last night Chia was sleeping when you called. Her phone kept ringing. I picked it up instead. You felt like the ground under your feet just disappeared. No, no way, you whispered, completely embarrassed. Jungkook laughed, seeing your reaction. You called 10 times, you know. I got curious, he said, tilting his head. And what I heard, he leaned closer again, whispering near your ear. It was the sweetest dream story ever. You covered your face with your hands. Oh my god, I'm going to die. You shouted. Jungkook chuckled deeply, clearing, enjoying your panic. You peeked at him through your fingers and mumbled, You idiot, you tricked me using Gia's voice. He shrugged playfully. Not my fault. You were too busy dreaming about me to notice, he teased. You wanted to scream, but then something clicked in your mind. You remembered something. You looked at him seriously and asked, Wait, why were you even at Gia's house? Are you her boyfriend or something? Your voice cracked a little. Jungkook's smile faded slightly. He moved back a step and ran his hand through his hair. Then he looked at you seriously and said, No one, I'm not Gia's boyfriend. You stared at him confused. He sighed and continued, Gia is my stepsister. Your mouth opened in shock. Step-sister, he nodded. Yeah, after my mom died and Gia's dad passed away, our parents met each other and got married. You listened silently, feeling your heart thump harder. Jungkook explained further. We decided to hide it at school because people here are idiots. They love gossip. We didn't want them to gossip about us. You bit your lip. Now everything made sense. Why he was in her house, why they were sometimes seen together but never acted like a couple. You looked up at him. He smiled warmly this time, not a smirk, not a tease, a real smile. He gently touched your hair and said, Because you're special, wine. You froze again. Jungkook leaned closer, his voice soft and sincere. And because he paused, brushing his fingers against your cheek, I don't want you dreaming alone anymore. I love you, and do you? Your breath caught in your throat. You stared into his deep brown eyes, feeling like, Then let's make your dream true. He chuckled and kept your face before pressing his lips on yours, and you both lost in the moment. Thank you for watching. If you like the story, please subscribe to our channel.